5 things a foolish man reveals through his words. If you want to understand a man, don't be distracted by his money, his style, or the trophies he displays. Listen to how he speaks. Words are not random, they are traces of thought. What a man repeats reveals how he thinks. The Stoics believed speech exposes the inner life. Just as rotten roots spoil the fruit, careless language exposes a weak mind. Today on Stoic True Wisdom, we'll examine 5 statements that consistently reveal foolishness. If you hear them in yourself, take it as a signal to grow. If you hear them in others, take it as a warning. 1. It's not my fault. The first refuge of a weak man is blame. When problems arise, he looks outward instead of inward. He blames people, circumstances, or luck, anything that protects his ego. But Marcus Aurelius reminded us that while events are beyond our control, our response never is. The foolish man avoids responsibility because it feels heavy. The strong man embraces it because responsibility forges character. Blame comforts, but it enslaves. Ownership challenges, but it frees. 2. I already know. This sounds confident, but it is the language of stagnation. The moment a man believes he has nothing left to learn, growth ends. Epictetus warned that no one can learn while convinced he already knows. Wisdom begins with humility. The wise man listens even when the lesson feels familiar. Knowing repetition deepens understanding. Admitting ignorance is not weakness, it is strength. 3. That's impossible. This phrase reveals surrender before effort. The foolish man declares limits to avoid discomfort. He calls something impossible not because it is, but because trying would demand discipline and patience. Seneca taught that many difficulties exist only because we hesitate. Most barriers collapse under persistence, but the foolish man never stays long enough to discover that truth. 4. I don't care. This sounds like strength, but it often hides fear or laziness. The Stoics taught selective indifference, detachment from what we cannot control, not from responsibility. When a foolish man says, I don't care, he is often escaping effort or accountability. Epictetus was clear: release concern over externals, but care deeply about your character and choices. Apathy is avoidance. Discipline is freedom. 5. What do I get out of it? This final phrase exposes a narrow soul. The foolish man measures every action by personal gain. Loyalty and kindness become transactions. Marcus Aurelius taught that what harms the whole ultimately harms the individual. A meaningful life is built on contribution, not extraction. The wise man asks not what he can take, but how he can give without losing integrity. One may fill his hands and still empty his life. Another may give and remain whole. The Stoics knew that language is thought made audible.